Most drivers think refueling is harmless, yet repair data shows over 70% of fuel system failures start with mistakes at the gas pump, not on the road. Every year, drivers spend billions fixing fuel pumps, injectors, and EVAP systems damaged by simple refueling mistakes. The shocking part? Nearly 9 out of 10 drivers repeat these mistakes every single week, thinking they're saving time or protecting the engine. In reality, they're shortening their car's lifespan mile by mile. Today, we're exposing 13 refueling mistakes that silently drain your wallet, wreck fuel economy, and shorten engine life. Stay with us until the end. Mistake number 5 is the one that triggers some of the most expensive fuel system repairs. Mistake 1. Overriding the click that saves you money. When the fuel pump clicks off, that sound isn't a suggestion, it's a safeguard. Your tank is already full at that point, and forcing in more fuel pushes liquid gasoline into the evaporative emission system, known as the EVAP system. This system is designed to handle fuel vapors only, not liquid fuel. When liquid gasoline floods the charcoal canister, it becomes saturated and stops absorbing vapors properly, leading to fuel smells, rough idle, and the dreaded check engine light. From a repair standpoint, this is one of the most common self-inflicted fuel system failures. Industry repair data shows overfilling is a leading cause of premature charcoal canister failure, with replacement costs typically ranging from $400 to $1,200, depending on vehicle design. Modern vehicles are especially vulnerable because tighter emissions regulations require sealed systems that don't tolerate misuse. What feels like getting your money's worth at the pump often turns into an expensive emissions repair later. The smarter alternative is simple and boring. And that's why it works. Stop pumping at the first click. You don't gain extra driving range by topping off, but you do increase the risk of long-term damage. That click is your fuel system saying, "I'm full and protected." Ignore it, and the next mistake gets even more expensive. Mistake 2. Ignoring the dirty fuel window. Filling up right after a tanker truck leaves feels harmless, but it's one of the quietest ways drivers contaminate their fuel system. When underground storage tanks are refilled, years of settled sediment, rust particles, and trace water are stirred up into the fuel column. Even though gas stations use filters, those filters are not designed to catch everything, especially the fine particles that modern high-pressure fuel systems are most sensitive to. Fuel industry testing has shown that particle contamination can spike by 3 to 4 times immediately after a station's tanks are refilled. While older vehicles might tolerate this better, newer cars with direct injection systems operate at pressures exceeding 2,000 to 3,000 psi, where microscopic debris can damage injector tips, score fuel pumps, and restrict fuel flow. These issues rarely show up immediately, which is why most drivers never connect the damage back to the timing of their refueling. The cost implications can be brutal. A single clogged direct injection injector can cost $250 to $600 per injector, and fuel pump replacements commonly exceed $800 to $1,500 on modern vehicles. The safer alternative is simple. Avoid refueling while a tanker is present or immediately after it leaves. Waiting just a few hours lets sediment settle back down and protects you from a repair bill that quietly builds with every contaminated fill. Mistake 3. Turning a routine fill-up into a fire risk. Leaving your engine running while you pump gas might feel convenient, but it quietly stacks the odds against you. Gasoline vapors are extremely flammable, and while modern vehicles are safer than older ones, an idling engine still produces multiple ignition sources. Hot exhaust components, electrical relays cycling on and off, and static discharge. This is why many fuel stations and safety agencies require engines to be shut off during refueling. Beyond safety, there's a mechanical downside most drivers never consider. When the engine is running, the fuel system and EVAP system are still actively managing pressure and vapors. Refueling with the engine on can confuse tank pressure sensors and vapor recovery valves, leading to false readings or long-term emissions faults. These issues don't always show up immediately, but they often appear later as intermittent check engine lights that are difficult to diagnose. The cost implications are real. EVAP-related repairs commonly range from $150 to $600, and in severe cases, such as damaged purge valves or pressure sensors, costs can exceed $1,000. The smarter alternative is simple and risk-free. Turn the engine off, remove the key, refuel, then restart. It costs nothing, takes seconds, and avoids a preventable repair. And the next mistake proves that bad timing can be just as costly as bad habits. Mistake 4. Wasting additives with bad timing. Fuel system additives can work, but only when they're used correctly. One of the biggest mistakes drivers make is pouring an additive into the tank and immediately topping off a full or nearly full tank. When that happens, the chemical concentration drops too low to properly clean injectors, valves, or combustion deposits. Instead of dissolving buildup, the additive gets diluted into near uselessness. Manufacturer testing shows that injector cleaners are most effective at higher concentrations, often improving spray patterns by 20 to 30% when mixed correctly. When over-diluted, those gains disappear. Drivers then assume the product did nothing, when in reality, timing ruined it. Worse, some people keep re-adding additives, wasting money without results. The correct method is simple. Add fuel system additives to a low tank, then fill up immediately afterward. This ensures proper mixing and cleaning strength. Used correctly, additives can extend injector life and prevent drivability issues that lead to $300 to $800 injector cleaning or replacement costs. Used incorrectly, they're just expensive fuel coloring. If these refueling mistakes are hitting home, take a second to hit that like button and subscribe. It's the easiest step toward avoiding costly fuel system repairs, and your car will thank you every time you pull up to the pump. Now let's move on to the next refueling habit that quietly saves you money every mile you drive. Mistake 5. Ignoring the smell that signals trouble. If you smell gasoline before refueling, your car is warning you, and most drivers ignore it. Fuel odors often come from small EVAP leaks, cracked filler necks, worn seals, or vent line issues. Refueling increases tank pressure, which can turn a minor leak into a bigger one, forcing fuel vapors out where they don't belong. Repair data shows EVAP system faults account for over 30% of check engine light cases in modern vehicles. Many of these start with faint fuel smells that go unchecked. What could have been a $20 hose or $40 seal often turns into $300 to $900 EVAP repairs once sensors, purge valves, or canisters are damaged. The smart move is to address fuel smells before refueling, not after the warning light comes on. Fuel smells are never normal, and ignoring them compounds the damage. Fixing it early protects both safety and your wallet. And the next mistake shows how running low can silently kill expensive parts. Mistake 6. Running on fumes like it's a flex. Driving until the fuel light has been on for a while isn't just risky, it's mechanically abusive. Your fuel pump relies on gasoline for cooling and lubrication. When fuel levels drop too low, the pump overheats, works harder, and wears faster. At the same time, sediment that settles at the bottom of the tank is more likely to be pulled into the fuel system. Studies and fleet maintenance data show fuel pumps consistently run below 1/4 tank, fail up to twice as early as those kept submerged. Fuel pump replacements commonly cost $600 to $1,500, especially on newer vehicles where the pump is integrated into the tank module. The safer habit is simple: refuel around the 1/4 tank mark. It keeps the pump cool, reduces contamination risk, and improves long-term reliability. Running low doesn't save fuel. It just shifts money from the pump to the repair shop. And the next mistake shows how parking position can lie to your fuel gauge. Mistake 7. Letting gravity lie to your fuel system. Refueling while parked on a slope doesn't seem like a big deal until you understand how modern fuel systems actually work. Inside your tank are float sensors, pressure sensors, and vapor recovery pathways that all assume the vehicle is sitting level. When the car is angled, fuel pools unevenly, causing the pump to shut off early or, worse, allowing overfilling on one side of the tank. That leads to inconsistent fuel levels and inaccurate gauge readings. Over time, this habit trains your car to miscalculate fuel range and consumption. Drivers often notice the gauge dropping faster than expected or the miles to empty estimate behaving erratically. While this mistake rarely causes immediate mechanical failure, it quietly degrades the accuracy of your fuel monitoring system, especially in vehicles that rely heavily on adaptive learning. The fix is simple but important. Refuel on level ground whenever possible. It ensures accurate fills, proper vapor recovery, and reliable fuel data. Ignore this habit long enough, and the next mistake proves how a cheap shortcut can snowball into repeated warning lights. Mistake 8. Saving pennies, triggering warnings. Fuel caps are often treated like disposable parts, but in modern vehicles, they play a critical role in emissions control. A fuel cap must seal the tank within a very narrow pressure range. Cheap aftermarket caps frequently fail this test, allowing vapors to escape or pressure to drop, which immediately triggers EVAP system faults. OEM fuel caps are engineered to seal within tight PSI tolerances, while many low-cost replacements don't meet those specifications. The result is a recurring check engine light, fuel smell, or reduced fuel economy. Worse, many drivers replace sensors or valves before realizing the cap itself is the problem. The financial damage adds up fast. Diagnostic scans typically cost $100 to $200, and unnecessary EVAP part replacements can climb past $500. The correct move is simple. Use OEM or OEM-approved fuel caps only. That small investment prevents repeated warning lights. And the next mistake shows how your car remembers exactly how you drive. Mistake 9. Teaching your car the wrong fuel math. Modern vehicles don't just burn fuel, they analyze it. Driving modes like Sport, Tow, or Eco alter throttle response, transmission behavior, and fuel mapping. When you refuel while locked into aggressive modes, the vehicle recalculates fuel range and efficiency using skewed data. Over time, this leads to inaccurate MPG readings, poor range estimates, and inconsistent throttle behavior. Drivers often complain that their car used to get better mileage, without realizing the adaptive system is simply responding to mixed signals. While this mistake won't break parts, it degrades the accuracy of systems you rely on every day. The solution is simple. Switch back to normal driving mode before refueling. It allows the car to recalibrate correctly. If you've watched these refueling habits this far, please hit the like button and subscribe. It helps support real-world car advice that actually saves you money. Stick around, because the next mistake hides in a place most drivers never think to check. Mistake 10. Treating the fuel pump like a distraction zone. Distracted refueling may seem harmless. Checking your phone, replying to a message, or chatting while the pump runs. But it's one of the most common causes of avoidable fuel-related problems. Gasoline vapors are highly volatile, and even brief inattention can lead to spills, overfills, or missed warning signs. Safety incident reports consistently show that most fuel station mishaps are caused by driver distraction, not equipment failure. Fuel spills don't just disappear. Gasoline can damage paint, dry out rubber seals, and contaminate components around the filler neck. If liquid fuel enters EVAP vapor lines, it can trigger check engine lights or long-term emissions issues. Cleanup fees charged by stations often range from $50 to $200, while repairing paint damage from repeated spills can cost $300 to $800. In rare but documented cases, static discharge incidents linked to distraction have even caused fires, with consequences that escalate quickly. The safest alternative is simple. Stay present during the 2 minutes it takes to refuel. Keep your phone away, watch the pump, and stay alert. This small habit prevents costly mistakes. And the next issue proves how something you can't see near the fuel door can quietly cause serious damage. Mistake 11. Ignoring the drain that guards your fuel system. Hidden behind your fuel door is a small but critical feature most drivers don't know exists. The fuel door drain. Its job is simple. Channel rainwater away from the filler neck so it doesn't enter the fuel system. When this drain clogs with dirt, leaves, or road grime, water pools around the filler opening and can be pushed inside during refueling. Water in fuel causes more damage than most people realize. It leads to corrosion inside fuel lines, rough idle, misfires, hard starts, and in colder climates, frozen fuel lines. Repair data shows water contamination-related fixes typically range from $200 to $800, depending on how far moisture travels through the system. In severe cases, fuel tanks may need to be drained and cleaned entirely. The solution is simple and free. Periodically inspect and clear the fuel door drain using compressed air or a small plastic tool. It takes minutes and prevents a problem that builds silently. And the next mistake shows how partial fills slowly confuse your car's fuel brain. Mistake 12. Teaching your fuel gauge bad habits. Constantly topping off your tank instead of doing consistent full refuels may seem harmless, but it slowly trains your fuel gauge to lie to you. Modern vehicles rely on adaptive learning to calculate fuel level, driving range, and average consumption. Frequent partial fills prevent the system from recalibrating properly, leading to inaccurate miles-to-empty readings and erratic gauge behavior. Over time, drivers notice the gauge dropping faster than expected, or the range estimate swinging wildly. While this mistake doesn't usually cause direct mechanical damage, it contributes to poor fuel tracking and can mask real fuel system problems. In some cases, inaccurate readings lead to unnecessary diagnostics costing $100 to $300, simply because the system's data has been confused by inconsistent fueling habits. The better approach is consistency. Let the tank drop to a reasonable level, then refuel normally. This allows the system to relearn accurately. And the final mistake exposes one of the most misunderstood and most expensive fuel myths ever sold. Mistake 13. Paying extra for power your engine can't use. Octane rating isn't a measure of power, it's resistance to premature combustion. Using higher octane fuel in an engine that doesn't require it provides no performance benefit, no cleaner burn, and no added protection. In fact, studies show premium fuel offers zero advantage in engines designed for regular, yet costs significantly more per gallon. On the flip side, using lower octane than recommended can cause engine knock, timing retard, and increased stress on internal components. Over time, this can reduce fuel economy by up to 7% and accelerate wear. Persistent knock-related damage can lead to repairs costing thousands, especially in turbocharged or high-compression engines. The correct choice is simple. Use the octane specified by the manufacturer. Anything higher wastes money. Anything lower risks damage. Octane isn't about performance bragging rights. It's about permission for your engine to operate correctly. And with that, you've just avoided some of the most expensive refueling mistakes drivers make every day. And there you have it. The everyday refueling habits most drivers never question, yet quietly cost them fuel, money, and long-term reliability. If this breakdown helped you see refueling differently, hit the like button, subscribe for more real-world car knowledge, and drop a comment below with the mistake that surprised you most or one you've been guilty of. And before you go, make sure to check out our insightful content on fuel-saving secrets gas stations protect with their lives, where we break down how small choices at the pump can stretch every gallon further and keep more money in your pocket.